Welcome back for the highly requested Part 5 and the finale of What If Vader Never Found Ahsoka's lightsabers. If you haven't seen the other parts, I recommend you watch those first before watching this video. The links will be in the description below. The sudden entrance of Luke and Leia into the life of Anakin was the final seal for his transformation to the light, and this time he was determined to not allow his fear of loss to turn him to the dark side. Whilst Luke and Leia were as gifted in their connection to the Force as their father, Anakin was unwilling to let them face the darkness of Sidious so soon. They needed time to be trained, time he just didn't have. Unsurprisingly, news of the nearly constructed Death Star soon reached their ears, ready to decimate any rebelling planets. Anakin knew the damage it could cause, having shamefully overseen its construction. The resource-limited rebellion would not stand a chance if Anakin didn't act soon. With his trust in Anakin fully restored, Obi-Wan decides to reveal the secret location of Yoda, and sends Luke and Leia to his little green friend on Dagobah. There they would be kept safe, and be prepared were anything to happen to Anakin, Ahsoka or Obi-Wan. After receiving intelligence from one of the rebel cells, the trio headed for the location of the nearly completed Death Star with a prototype vessel. Anakin hated the superweapon, as it would only stir discontent amongst the galaxy's civilians. Palpatine was too engrossed in his power to consider people being able to oppose his reign of tyranny. Approaching an asteroid hovering near the station, Anakin could already feel the presence of Palpatine, his evil like a poison in his mind. Activating the cloak projectors, the Death Star would be able to detect his magnetic signature, but the surprise of seeing such a ship would be sure to buy some time. Dropping downwards and acting like a piece of debris, they are puzzled when they manage to make it into the hangar without any trouble. But then it dawned upon them, Palpatine was waiting for them. Anakin performed one of his smoother landings, and the trio wasted no time, rushing into the battle station. It is not as they had expected. The hangar was deserted, and now the presence of Palpatine was being masked. They decide to split up, with Anakin searching the upper levels, and Obi-Wan and Ahsoka the lower ones. Anakin puts his hood over his head, cutting his way through the stormtroopers who patrolled the corridors. Entering a large control room, he saw many officers at their areas, and lifting them all up from their chairs, crushes all of them with the raise of his fist. Behind him, Palpatine started to cackle. Back on the lower levels, Ahsoka and Obi-Wan were carefully treading their way through, when they entered one of the detention blocks. Something felt amiss. Each taking one side of the corridor, they simultaneously opened all of the doors with the Force, and out of most of them stepped out an Inquisitor. After learning of the defection of his apprentice, Sidious had easily turned all of the Inquisitors against him for this very purpose. But having beaten one Inquisitor previously, Ahsoka was confident she could do the same to the others. Whilst Obi-Wan took advantage of his superior dueling abilities, Ahsoka used her Force abilities, deactivating the lightsaber of one of the Inquisitors and turning it upon the others. They are unable to cope, either being killed or severely wounded. Leaving the lives of the Inquisitors to fate, Obi-Wan feels a shockwave in the Force, as it was evident that Anakin had found Palpatine. Taking one of the station's turbo lifts to the top, each passing moment felt agonizing, Anakin's life on the line. The lift doors opened, greeting Ahsoka and Obi-Wan with the sight of 20 dead Imperial officers. Sprinting down a side corridor, Anakin suddenly slid across the floor in pain in front of them, his mechanical hand losing some of its nerve endings. Obi-Wan pushes Anakin back into the battle with an enhanced Force push, and joins the battle with Ahsoka. Ahsoka's fight doesn't last long, as she only manages to partially deflect Palpatine's Force lightning, the rest coursing through her body. Anakin can no longer hold his anger. Triggered at seeing Ahsoka slide to the wall, he presses attack, seamlessly combining with Obi-Wan to deflect what seemed like a dozen blades at the same time. But then it was Obi-Wan's turn to fail to deflect Palpatine's Force lightning, skidding to a halt beside Ahsoka, albeit in better condition. Getting back on his feet, he runs towards the battle, but is stopped by the closing of blast doors. Using his lightsaber, Obi-Wan attempts to pierce through the door just like Qui-Gon had done, but these doors were far thicker. He's saved from another attempt by a sound of beeping and footsteps behind him. Rex, Gregor and Wolf are accompanied by R2-D2, who have been in Bail's service up to this point, and the faithful droid promptly unlocks the doors. The various panels of the door slide open, and Obi-Wan sees Anakin brushing off the dust from his suit, standing beside the fallen Palpatine. Anakin took one last look of disgust at his former master, before rushing over to Ahsoka, who looked weak. The clones grab a nearby stretcher, and R2-D2 roots their way out. By now, all of the Death Star's defenders were aware of Palpatine's fall, and were quick to pursue the assailants. But due to Palpatine's overconfidence, the number of Imperials was limited, allowing Anakin and Obi-Wan to pick them off. Along the way, Obi-Wan contacts Bail Organa, telling him to bring reinforcements, as they had the opportunity to strike a fatal blow to the Empire. Anakin and Obi-Wan were unaware of the clones piloting the ship, nor of the rebel reinforcements arriving to destroy Palpatine's creation. Ahsoka's condition was paramount. Anakin would not allow the one who had helped him see the light to fall. Rapidly heading to Dagobah, Yoda began to heal Ahsoka with the Force, her life still in the balance. Finally, the female convor Morai circled overhead to the relief of Anakin. Ahsoka's eyes opened, confused at her surroundings. Looking at Anakin, Obi-Wan, Luke and Leia, Morai gently rested on her arm. She owed them her life. That is it for What If Vader Never Found Ahsoka's Lightsaber. If you enjoyed this What If, please like this video, and if you're new to this channel and my other channel, subscribe for more What Ifs. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd like to see next and how I can improve my videos. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.